I still get a lot of questions about my A6700 on my YouTube channel, but I have since sold it for something else, and if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll tell you what that is. I have to preface by saying that I didn't mind that the Sony A6700 was APS-C, a smaller sensor size. I'm not a full-frame fanboy. I actually like the benefits of having a smaller size and cheaper lenses for APS-C, but I just loved how the A6700 would match my A7 IV colors in using it as a B cam. This past summer, I started filming weddings and my camera would be on for the better part of 6, 7, 8 hours a day. My B cam needed to be something that I could confidently set it and forget it, walk around with my A cam, and know that my B cam is getting the footage that I need without overheating or randomly shutting off. That was just like super important for me. Before I bought the camera, online were some mixed reviews about what this camera could actually do at 4K 24 frames per second, which is pretty much what I needed. I needed long run times at that. So I thought I'd buy it, test it out, do my own testing, update the firmware, and then I'd make my decision from there. Plus, it would be fun to just have the camera in my possession and test it out for a week or so. If you're finding value in this video, it goes a really long way if you could just leave a like. 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much, and let's dive back in. So to make this really clear, the only two reasons that I sold the A6700 was number 1, overheating concerns. And I'll link those videos here, but you can kind of see that like if you are a shooter who needs it as a B cam like me and needs longer record times at 4K 24 without worrying, so like completely have peace of mind when you're going around with your A cam, this is not the camera for you. And I kind of knew that when I bought it. So this isn't on Sony. It's a mid-level camera that's not set up to be like full professional. But to make a long story short, I made a mistake. I bought a camera that wasn't suited for my needs and I had to sell it. The only other and second reason that I sold the A6700 was it didn't have redundant recording. And again, I obviously knew that going into the purchase of the camera. I thought I'd be fine with it, but as I progressed in my business, I just thought it was pretty silly to buy a camera, spend all this money on the camera, I think it was 2,200 Canadian, and not have it dual record. So I could potentially run in, I know it's rare, but I could potentially run into issues down the road where I'm shooting an event, something that can't be reshot, and then have a card fail. Now, this has only happened once in my professional career, but even then, I think that's worth buying something that has a second SD card slot. I think it was ambitious to pick up the A6700. It was more like I wanted to try it anyways, and if I could deal with these disadvantages, I was gonna go ahead and try that. But as promised, what did I end up buying instead? I bought an older camera, a Sony A7 III, to match my A7 IV, and I know it doesn't have 10-bit color, so I can't shoot 10-bit 4K. It's 8-bit 4K 24 frames per second that I'm going to be using it for anyways. My friends use it professionally. It does have 2 SD card slots, so I think that's plenty good enough for me. It's cheaper than the A6700. My full frame lenses work on it, and the list goes on. So I also think that the run times will be so much better on this because it's not as demanding on the camera when it doesn't shoot 10-bit. So my 4K 24 locked off shots on a tripod or for interviews is going to be totally fine for that second camera angle. I'll definitely be doing a full-length video on the A7 III in 2024, but until then, thank you so much for stopping by the channel. I hope that clears up some questions about the A6700. I no longer have it in my possession. We will see you in the next one. Maddie out. Peace.